I have a second channel, Cube Comp MTDX. Hey everybody, so here is my Keurig B40 or K40 brewer. I was having some issues here recently with it. When I would go to start it and it would start to fill the tank, not only would water go into the tank, but water would also come out of this relief there's a relief vent here. So the pump was just pumping water and it was going back into here, and only some of it was actually filling up the tank. And it got to a point where, really to be honest, everything the pump was pumping in was just coming right back out here. Now, so the story behind this unit is I got it for free because it wouldn't fill the tank. And the reason why it wouldn't fill the tank was because the check valve between the water pump, and the tank was stuck shut. These things have at least two check valves on them, two main ones. You got one between the pump and the water heating tank, and you have this one right here between the water heating tank and the needle that goes into the K-cup to brew your coffee. I should mention that when I got this thing initially, when it wasn't pumping, it wasn't spewing anything out of this relief vent. So it was getting to a point where when it was filling the tank, it would drip water out of here. And also when you were brewing your coffee, not all the water would go into your cup, it would just go back to this vent here. So I did some looking on YouTube, and one guy suggested to check this tank here, to take the cover off and check the tank, see if it's full. His was slam full. Mine wasn't slam full. It had some room left in it. So what I did is I used my my sketchy little air pump here to hook up to this right there, and I backfed air pressure into the tank to empty it. And actually I sped this up by plugging the unit in, so that way it would activate a solenoid that believe it's used for shutting off back pressure from the tank into the reservoir. Not exactly certain on that. I'll come back to that in a moment. But so emptied out the tank, plugged it back in, tried to fill it up again. You know, press the power button, let it try to fill up, and it was just doing the same thing. Hardly any water was going into the tank. It was just going out the relief here. So the next thing I done was took this line here, the one I disconnected earlier, took my air hose from my air pump, hooked it directly to it, turned it on, and had lots of pressure because the solenoid was closed. So what I had to do was plug the unit in, and this is the particular solenoid on this Keurig that is always hot whenever the unit is plugged into the wall, even if the power button is off. Yeah. So plug the thing in, don't have to turn the power button, you don't have to press the power button, and just run the compressor, and it will push pressure back through here, through the check valve, and also whatever solenoid is there, if there's one. It would just push back pressure through it, and I think what was happening is it got jammed again. So push through here, and it pushed back pressure through this line. Air was coming out here. So it was pushing backwards air through here, and it unstuck whatever was stuck. Not sure if it was a solenoid or if it was that check valve again. Freed it up. Now this thing here was able to this air pump was able to overcome the resistance of the check valve. That's why it was able to push air back through into the tank. So that seemed to have got the problem solved. So to get in this thing, you have one screw, or two screws actually, under here. You have two, those were Phillips, and you have two Torx bit screws holding this handle, and you got to take those off. And once those are off, that piece there will come off. You may have to fight a little bit to get it off, but it'll give you access into here. And so I did the mentioned steps again. First, I emptied tank using air pressure by disconnecting this line and hooking the air hose, which is a little vinyl tube. Hooked it directly into that, and actually I had some leftover tubing from this here. I actually bought this to replace the original valve because I thought it was stuck, and it came with this silicone tubing that they use in here. I just hooked this into a was it 1/4-inch vinyl tube that's coming out of my little air pump here, and again use that to push air into the water tank to flush water out of it by any means necessary, either going back through here or through the relief valve, the relief vent. Emptied the tank, and as mentioned, tried it, same thing. So I then took that 1/4-inch line from my air pump and hooked it directly into this here, which I again was already popped off. Plugged the unit in to open the solenoid, and I was able to push air backwards past the check valve and through the pump and back into here, and it freed up whatever was stuck, because afterwards this thing started working like a dream, no problem at all. Brewed a cup of coffee just fine. So in case you have one of these units and you're about ready to chunk it and go buy a new one, this is one thing to check. This is the K40 or B40. This is I think this one's actually a B40. This is an older one. You take this cover off using the steps I mentioned, and you disconnect that line right there to the left of the wires there. And you may not even have to flush the tank out in your case. Just, of course, do this when you'll be fiddling in here with the unit unplugged. So basically, unplug the unit when you're in here with your hands working, and once you get this tube up and out of the way to a safe spot, hook up your air supply, plug the unit back in to open the solenoid. You know, as I said, you don't have to power the unit on, just plug it in, and it opens the solenoid, and then you can push air backwards through this line, and it will hopefully free up whatever is stuck. So yeah, I tell you, these things can be really sophisticated. Hope this is helpful. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Well, everybody, that's it for this video, but don't forget there's a lot more interesting stuff on the channel to check out. Also, if this is your first time visiting this channel, feel free to subscribe to keep your channel, and also don't forget to tick the bell so that way you'll get notified of new video posts. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, but if you really didn't like it, there is the alternative option available as well. Also, feel free to check out my second channel, CubeComp MTDX. There you'll find videos about bicycling, weather, elevator tours, and all sorts of other neat, interesting stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to come back, and thank you for your support.